Hey there everyone, another video, another quick progress update. I'm going to give you guys a break and not be on cam for this one, and like I said, hopefully it'll be a quick video, but it's a good one, or I think it's going to be a good one. Let's load up the latest build. Let's see. Some of the changes I made since the last video, and if you've been watching Farron's videos and you saw his last video, he was actually using a slightly older build than this one, but the interface was pretty much on par with what I'm using right now. So you can now minimize and maximize the sidebar, which I'll show a video later of how that's highly useful for vertical theming. Let's go into a different view. My mouse is acting goofy. Let's turn the volume down a bit. Alright. Go into the editor, change the transition when loading, and finally I have added the new Adorner code. And this wouldn't have been possible, or at least it wouldn't have been possible this quickly, if it wasn't for an individual by the name of Sukram on the code project forum. He had actually written an Adorner demonstration application, and I mean, it was very different to how I've implemented Adorners in this application, but what I did need was 2 lines of trigonometry code. So I took that and I was able to apply it to this. So I can now resize a rotated UI element with the position left intact, and that's what a little algorithm allowed me to do. And that was something that I've been kind of freaking out about for months, knowing that I would have to tackle the Adorner and tackle trig, which I haven't studied trig or used trigonometry since I was good lord 15, 16. So yeah, we've now got a brand new Adorner style. I've kept it very simple, black and white with an animated outline. The rotate handle I've moved from the right to the top, and because I've moved the rotate handle to the top, the angle property in the properties panel has also moved to the top instead of the right to indicate 0 degrees. Okay, so yeah, I'm very happy with this, and obviously as you resize or perform an angle change, it will show you the changes in the center of the Adorner right here, and no matter how it's been rotated, the text will always be at the correct orientation. Now, the Adorner is one part, and then there's a ton of validation that I have to place inside this new Adorner code, because we have parent-child or nested UI elements, okay, as you can see here on the left hand side. Okay, and it has to look at all the various properties, and essentially it needs to look for boundaries, and are you trying to make a UI element larger than its parent, and if you are you allowed to, and all this kind of good stuff. All right, so so what we have here, as you can see, the community rating is part of the game rating doc UI element. Okay, now the game rating UI element has a fixed width with a auto-sized or flexible height on it, meaning you can load up as many children into this game rating doc, and it will keep expanding the height. Okay, so this is what we end up with when you try, or when you want to manipulate the size of the community rating. Okay, so as I move up and down, you can see the parent boundary is actually moving up and down because of its flexible height, its auto-sized height. However, when I move the community UI element, well, not move it, but when I want to resize the width, I cannot extend beyond the width of its parent. Okay, so I have a ton of rules that I have to follow, so that the editor isn't going to do anything goofy or, God forbid, crash. All right, so you know, it's one part user friendly so that what you do on screen, you can clearly see how, you know, your results are going to be, but at the same time I have to put some kind of constraints in there, so the code isn't going to do anything wacky. All right, so that's the Adorner. I've got some work to do on that. And speaking of Adorner, that is actually the last item on the list that I had for this build. Okay, however, I do have the wheel item templates that I've kind of added to this build, as that feature was recently added to BigBox, so I'm going to give that a shot. But worst comes to the worst, if I think that's going to be a long-winded exercise, then I can always put the wheel item template on hold and basically disable the icon in the modifiers panel, and basically release the editor with everything but that, and then work on the wheel item template. So as I'm not quite sure how much work is involved in getting wheel item templates into the editor, I'm just going to forge ahead for now. All right, but if I think it's going to be a, you know, a 2-3 month ordeal, then I'll release without that functionality, and then work on it separately. Okay. But yeah, the focus really is to finish off the Adorners, all the logic in place, you know, what you're allowed to do, and because the code behind this is quite involved, as far as boundary detection and size constraints, the code will actually be shared within the properties panel as well. So whatever value you try and key into the height, it has to conform to the same rules as if you were manipulating via the mouse. All right, so they'll share the same lookups, same validation, if that makes any sense. Let's see. Yeah, it was mainly Adorners that I've been working on for the past week. But I do have a video capture I performed earlier today, just to demonstrate the editor or the theme creator working in portrait mode, and how useful it is to actually minimize the sidebar on the first screen. So as you can see, I've taken a vertical theme from a user on the forum, on the Launchbox forum, by the name of Jay's Arcade. I've taken one of his themes and basically just to see what it would look like on my external monitor set up in portrait mode. My apologies for the lack of clarity or whatnot, but hopefully you can clearly see what benefits this would give you, just so that you can actually see your theme in a preview mode without the sidebar getting in the way. And obviously the editor being full screen, it will work in exactly the same way without issue. But I just wanted to show this and how useful this minimize maximize sidebar would be for those vertical themers out there. All right. I'm trying to think. I could have sworn I did some more work. Actually, if I go into I'm trying to think which is a good one. Is it the truth? Yeah, I think this is a good example. So in my last video I was explaining the reasoning behind this change to the interface at the bottom here, and this is why. So this particular view for this particular theme, there's platform specific configurations set up, and that's because the animation for the media differs between CD based and non-CD based. Okay, so for example, if I click on 3DO, we have the CD spin in, and then it spins as if it's playing. Okay, but as you saw on the default config, the media spins in, so if it was a cartridge, the cartridge would spin in, and then basically it's doing a very subtle rotate X number of degrees to the left, to the right, with a I think it's doing a scaling. Yep, scaling. So Rincewind, who put this theme together, clearly wanted to apply the spinning CD animation to those platforms leveraging CD media. Okay, and so with this panel being much larger now, and you can see a much larger list of the platforms, and it's scrollable, you can simply click on the configuration, right click, hit copy, and then with the control key pressed down, you just highlight the platforms that you wish to copy to. All right. Actually, I'm going to do it a different way, and hopefully I can remember this. So I'm going to copy the 3DO config. All right. Actually, I'm going to highlight all the ones currently marked. And then I'm going to right click and hit delete. Okay, so they're all gone except for the default. All right, but I did do a copy, so it's in memory. So press and hold the control key, select 3DO, and then if memory serves, I'll click on all the platforms. So it was 360, GameCube, Wii U, Dreamcast, Saturn. BS1, 2, PSP. Although that's not a technically CD, it's UMD. Alright, that's good enough. And then I'll just hit paste. Alright. So, yeah, it doesn't want to paste into something that doesn't already exist. Cheat. I'll have to look into that. But anyway, that's how you can do multiple deletes and multiple pastes. And I've just got this logic to slightly tweak out here, but that's good enough. I think I've got it all back. What else? What else? What else? Like I said, it was mainly Adorners for the past week. Yeah, I think that's essentially it. So like I said, it was going to be a quick video, just some of the tweaks and, you know, basically a success story from an Adorner perspective. I was very happy about that. But yeah, that, like I said, as far as my initial list of planned features or activities for this build that I set out to do 8-9 months ago, I've actually achieved those. Obviously I need to tighten up the code now, but I've hit all of them and then some. So like I said, it really all comes down to how long it's going to take to tackle the wheel item templates. If it's going to be a long-winded exercise, I'll release as is with this icon disabled, just so that you can get to grips with the new features and start getting your themes out there. But if not, if it's going to be relatively easy, then I will forge ahead and include this functionality with this build. All right. So I'll keep you posted on that one. Obviously, like I said, focus is Adorners. I really need to tighten that up. It's going to be great. I hope you're really going to like it. And like I said, I'll keep you posted to when I think this is going to be released. All right. So until then, take care, and I will put out another video in a week or 2 weeks. All right, take it easy.